agava mu bazungu General Museveni akyawedde dda anti n'akasuwa kabadde asigazaayo nako kakutuse. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine omusajja ono si mwangu, twamufunanga kirabo Mukama yamuleetera mukadde akatuufu. Obusuwa bwonna obadde bubujjirira obadde bubeezaawo General Museveni ku bukulembeze bw'eggwanga abukutudde ate nga n'omusango oguli mu kkooti y'ensi yonna ICC nagwo ebigambo munange bitokota butokosi kati General Museveni asula enjoka zimuluma, asiiba entegetege zimufampa ng'amatama gakankana yeebuuza ki ekiddako kubanga ekibaluwa kibakuntumye muteeke maaso atidde bigenda kubeera bitya nga nyimiridde mu kaguli bambuza jojojo w'ebibuuzo era bigenda kuggwa bitya nga sikyali mukulembeze lwa mwana oyo Kyagulanyi. Anti omanyi kati n'obwavu bungi kkooti ya banka y'ensi yonna yasazaamu okumuwola ensimbi ate nga n'eggwanga lya Amerika nalyo lyasazaamu enkolagana yalyo ne Museveni ku byenkunsuubulagana. Agowa kati nakaseera konna akabadde ajjeeyo kati musajja watupye takyalina gy'akajja gyakubakubako nayo tebamuwa. Abakyala nabo beefudde ebbereegye buli kimu bawamba kiwambe kati ali awo mu masaŋŋanzira ebigambo byamuzitoyeeko. Akatusukirwa bakatambi kano awulire bulungi General Museveni bw'atudde ku nkato essaawa yonna ayabika.
Is a certificate and award ceremony, and I'd like to thank our professors from the American leadership class in conjunction and in collaboration with the Uganda's bleeding management. And it is a hope for us. It is a freedom for us. It is a celebration for us. And it is a jubilation for us to mix and mingle and meet and greet and engage and interact with all of you in empowering, in mentoring, and in orchestrating these wonderful ideologies that help us to sharpen our mind, to uplift our spirits, and to encourage our very souls to move forward as we engage with each of you. And so, for starters, you know, I'd like you to know that that if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. In other words, our work, colleagues, begins. We have had this knowledge of civic engagement that was intended to steer and awaken your curiosity with this information. You were armed with tools to enhance what to do with social justice and advocate for yourself, for your country, for your revolution, and for all those that have been marginalized. Number two, our curriculum was to share this information, which was intended to do two things: to train you so that you train others, and to access knowledge that would not have been found anywhere. Number three, learning is the great experience. So with a growth in a mindset and not a fixed mindset, never, colleagues, never stop learning, for it takes humility to do so. And it is humility, colleagues, I repeat, it is humility that makes the best leaders out of us. It is humility that humbles the best leaders out of us. It is humility that inspires our actions to do more, that inspires us to dream more, that inspires us to be the best we can be, great leaders of our generation. What did we cover? What was all this program about? We had 10 sessions. We started in our humble beginning from April 23rd up until May 25th. But what did we start with? We started with, as you can all see, our sessions. We began with our leadership insights. We continued with the power of collective actions from protest to revolution, strategic framework for social movements. We continued with the role of social commentary in the social movements and the revolutions. We continue with the propaganda and misinformation and varying their impacts with the Ugandan case study. We went on with the press freedom and human pillars for peace in Uganda. We continued, our colleagues, with servant leadership. And then federalism in Uganda, examining the governance and the potential conflicts. Then our last was women's frontline role in the democratic revolution in Uganda. And all of these were pivot in their essence in advocating for true justice, in advocating for who we are, and in helping us navigate this big spectrum of what we call our people power revolution. Okay, and so all of these topics were so sensitive to us, to the human mind, because they all curtail towards our civic education. And each of you had wonderful favorite topics of discussion. And I want to promise to you, colleagues, that this is not going to be the end. We shall continue in teaching, in empowering you with all of these topics. Perhaps one of my favorite was servant leadership and Ubuntu federalism, the role of social commentary, strategic framework in social movements, and above all, the power of collective action from protest to revolution. This was key, and it because of the popular demand, we are going to teach it again on our people power and no convention coming up in Chicago. And so, because of the gist and the well-rounded information that has brought to our understanding. Okay, and so colleagues, allow me to pay tribute to Comrade Dorcas D and the management. She never stopped reaching out. She never stopped emphasizing the need of empowerment and teaching. She has been having this great outstanding achievement, and she's been excellent in her leadership role. She has been professional and excellent in her outreach initiatives. She has impacted all of us to be better, to be the very best. But above all, Dorcas has been a trailblazer in her zeal for learning. Dorcas always attends our American leadership classes. She's been there on reaching out and seeing how our students are collaborating in various spheres. Dorcas and her management have been very humble, and they have been very diligent in the collaboration and the meaningful exercise of freedom and jurisdiction that we have so much emphasized, all of us. And so in a recognition of Dorcas, I wanted to shine a light on her specifically for her resilience and for her not giving up. I can tell you, colleagues, it is not easy to manage behind the scenes and working and negotiating and collaborating and reaching out and in making sure that our civic education, Uganda's bleeding programs continue to focus on various aspects. And so for those that are in the neighborhood of Dorcas, please reach out and congratulate her for being a trailblazer for all what she's been doing. And then send a shout out to her and congratulate her for really having been able to incorporate this curriculum of ours into her overall wonderful experience. And on our part as faculty, we did it with grace. We did it with diligence. We did it with love and care, and we were so passionate. And also, we did not want to disappoint her. We did all what we could because we saw the need and we saw the opportunity and we felt the desire to help and enrich the lives of our comrades. And so, colleagues, we have come to the highlights of comrades, students, and guests that have been so diligent. These have been participating, but not only have they been participating, they have been aggressive, they have been interactive, they have showed commitment in not only being on Uganda's bleeding platform, but they have also taken upon themselves to do the homework, to do the assignments, and to reach above and beyond their scope of influence and network in really dialoguing and digesting many of the difficult questions that have been asking at the end of our lecture series. And so these students today will be honored with the certificate of completion. And this is how we are going to do it. I'll be calling each student by name and spotlighting that student. And it's our intention that that student will be on the platform so that that student can be highlighted. And so the following are awarded this certificate of completion in honor of being engaged in this civic education program and highlights, and in also for them to have this as charisma and strength, and in helping them to navigate and to know that this is what they are going to be doing, and in helping them also to know what is being done. And so that is our graduation song to usher in our students. It's a typical tradition within our American context of higher learning in our American institutions that if these students were in my class or at our university, they could all march from the lobby of our university entrance, and they walk one by one as they come to be able to be given these certificates. And so we will be doing that.
I don't know if there's no sound, Professor.
Okay.
Or is it because of copyright? I don't know. I'm streaming this on Facebook. Should I pause?
We can. We are going to the next. Okay. So we would like the American Leadership class and the People Power Academy Civic Education certificate of completion. This certificate is awarded to Kakande Ibrahim. Is Kakande Ibrahim on here with us? And if he's here with us, this certificate is awarded to him in honor of his commitment and dedication to the People Power Academy and civic education from our American Leadership Education Program. Okay. Number 2, would like to the American Leadership class and the People Power Academy Civic Education certificate of completion. This certificate is awarded to Achileo Chivumbi on June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, American Leadership Academy and Utah Valley University, Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Engagement Services at Northridge University, California. The American Leadership Class and People Power Academy of Civic Education Certificate of Completion. This certificate is awarded to Henry Segwanyi, signed by Professor David Sejinja, President of the American Leadership Academy, Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Engagement, Northridge University, California. The American Leadership Class and People Power Academy Civic Education Certificate of Completion. This certificate is awarded to Malo Edward Semugenyi, signed by Professor David Sejinja, President of the American Leadership Academy, signed by Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Engagement, California, Northridge University. American Leadership Class, People Power Academy and Civic Education Certificate of Completion. This certificate is awarded to Tamale Ibrahim, June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, American Leadership Academy, Utah Valley University, signed by Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Services, California, Northridge University. American Leadership Class, People Power Academy Civic Education Certificate of Completion. This certificate is awarded to Dina Vance Tomusime, June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, President of American Leadership Academy, Utah Valley University, Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Engagement, California University and Northridge University. American Leadership Class, People Power Academy Civic Education Certificate of Completion. This certificate is awarded to David Yahweh, June 8th, 2024, by Professor David Sejinja, President of the American Leadership Academy, Utah Valley University, Professor Tim Sispansky, Director of Student Engagement, California University, Northridge. And so, currently the goal with our American Leadership Academy, our goal is always to graduate 50 to 70 students each cohort. Given the resources we have, the training, and the trainers go out to train others. So we need your help, our colleagues that are listening in today, by teaching and imparting this knowledge and to join this task. And let us continue and not leave this to us alone, but also to you as well. And you can also be a sponsor and sponsor some of our comrades, or donate your time and money. And so when you go to Kampala, pass by and edify and emphasize and encourage some of our students that we teach from the American Leadership Class. And so if we can have 10 students or more to American Leadership Class, the goal of creating leaders will be accomplished very fast. The reason why our focus is to train leaders is that when our new government takes place tomorrow, we don't have to scramble and look for leaders. We would have built leaders, not like the Bushmen that came and brought chaos, who were not led, who had never gotten an education, who were just there in a guessing mode with nothing to learn new. And so our focus at the American Leadership Class is to train, empower, teach, impart, and build role model leaders of honest integrity and leaders of great influence. So those are our objectives of the American Leadership Class. And so, my fellow colleagues and visitors and guests today, we felt that we and our executive board of directors at the American Leadership Class, we felt the need to go and move above and beyond in helping, adding value in selecting to some of the best students that went above and beyond. And as a token of our appreciation, these students stood out amongst their peers. And so we moved the motion to award these students with American Leadership Scholarship Awards to the 3 students that stood out, that excelled. I tell you, colleagues, I was so fascinated by reading the essays, the assignments of these 3 students, these 3 comrades. And I also pictured myself in the circumstances where they are, in different countries where they belong, and their dedication to learn and to wanting to aspire and to be inspired was such a great interest to me. And so I decided to tell our Dean of Faculty that we need to award scholarships to these students. And so, colleagues, allow me to read the names of the scholarship awardees of these comrades and students and wish them well as they embark on their new knowledge and as they embark on their new journey with these scholarships. Ladies and gentlemen, dear comrades, allow me to announce the name of Malo Edward Semugenyi as our first candidate to win our American Leadership Class Scholarship Foundation. And we proudly present this certificate to Malo Edward Semugenyi. Congratulations to him on receiving this American Leadership class on June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, President of the American Leadership class, Timothy Sispansky, Professor of Northridge University. So our scholarship award goes to Malo Edward Semugenyi, first candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to announce that American Leadership Class Scholarship Foundation proudly presents this certificate to Henry Segwanyi in congratulating him to receiving this American Leadership Class Scholarship on June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, American Leadership President, and Professor Tim Sispansky, Professor for American Leadership, Professor for Northridge University. Our third student, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to announce that American Leadership Class Scholarship Foundation proudly presents this certificate to Danny Vance Tumusime and congratulating on receiving this American Leadership Class Scholarship, June 8th, 2024, signed by Professor David Sejinja, President of the American Leadership Class, signed by Professor Tim Sispansky, Vice President and Professor of California, Northridge University. These 3 students have been awarded this scholarship, and this scholarship is going to be for 1 year, starting with September 2024, and they will be attending the American Leadership Academy for a period of 1 year. And then these students have a deadline of next week, Friday, to write back to us in confirming the acceptance of this scholarship. And then once they accept the scholarship, then our admissions team will reach out to them with additional information. And so American Leadership class has visiting faculty that travel to Uganda, to Kenya. And we had Professor Andrew Busby, who is our Constitutional and Federalism professor from Utah Valley University, and Professor Sam Hill. They met and interacted with our student leaders in Uganda and other stakeholders in various areas of influence when they visited. And so we always have this as an ongoing influence, and this is what our students that attend our American leadership class do. They visiting and interaction and sharpen their mind in leadership with our focus of servant leadership. In 2022, I hosted a United Nations conference here at Utah Valley University, and some of our students from American leadership class from Uganda flew into US and attended this. And our chief guest was Katikiro, former premier of Uganda Kingdom, Prime Minister Joseph Semwogere Mulyanyamuli in 2022. And our students had a great influence and interaction and exchange of ideas and volume of knowledge and understanding. So these are some of the impacts of our students who attend our American leadership class conferences throughout the world as part of their exchange and learning curriculum in coming and share their knowledge of what they have learned in Uganda, and as they bring that knowledge into US and other countries where we send them to represent us on different panels and on different engagements as leaders of people power, as leaders of National Unity Platform, as leaders of opposition. We emphasize them to have this dialogue, diplomacy, development, education, and emphasis on democracy, rule of law, governance, and servant leadership. We usually send delegations from Utah to visit Ndeje University, and our American Leadership Academy emphasizes internships and interactions and the volunteerism of some of our students. And so students, in closing, this helps them to learn and to be inspired. And as they are inspired, they also inspire others as they teach, train, and educate other people within that context. And so students, colleagues, visitors, and comrades, I thank you. I thank you for all those that continue to fight for justice. I thank you for those that have attended our 10 weeks curriculum program. And so as we come to an end with this graduation ceremony, I congratulate again those ones that have been so due diligence in doing this. Aluta, Continuula, we will always never stop learning. Will always continue to be amplified and will always continue to be strengthened. For you students, we hope this has been a learning lesson. For those that never took the class seriously, those were the results. For those that participated, you have been rewarded. And for those that will be on a waiting list for next year, in collaboration and partnership with Uganda's Bleeding Management, I hope we shall continue to look into other programs that emphasize this. And for those that want to add value on your resume, on your education curriculum and professionalism, we are here as a resource. For those that are looking for scholarships and influence, we are here to help to empower. But you as people power foot soldiers, you as a National Unity Platform are followers and leaders. We shall never tire, because our price, our zeal, our cry is that someday our country will be liberated. May I also send a shout out for those of you that are listening in within the years to me. We are going to be participating in the People Power National Unit Convention Conference in Chicago. I'm inviting you all to come and join in some of this empowerment leadership curriculum program that is going to be hands-on, retooling, re-energizing, refocusing of our struggle, of our revolution. We weigh, we reflect what our strength, what our weaknesses, how can we move forward? How can we avoid being entangled in the messes that distract us from the given prize? And so in closing, May I submit to you, colleagues and comrades listening to me this morning or this afternoon, never tire to do good. Do a small thing with great beauty. Fight if you have to fight. Die if you have to die. Sweat if you have to sweat. But history will vindicate us that we once stood the test of times. We once won the revolution. We once conquered the brutal regimes that have killed and mastered and tortured our people. There is a beacon of hope. There is a faith amidst us. God has not forgotten. Our people haven't forgotten. Our foot soldiers are resilient and will continue to fight. Our leaders continue to fight. We continue to fight, but we are not alone. We are fighting in all dimensions, in scholarly, leadership, training, empowerment, and with other things beyond our own understanding at this level of our knowledge and wisdom, which are continually taking center stage. And so I like to thank our faculty from American Leadership Academy, our teacher Mimi, our Professor Tim Tsipansky, and all others that really are helped to instigate and get all this going. I thank you very much, Dorcas. I turn the time over to you. Thank you for all joining us for this graduation ceremony. I thank you for our student scholarship awardees that have received these scholarships this morning. Please make sure that you meet the requirements for the scholarship so you don't drop out of the scholarship, because we have many on the waiting list that would have otherwise accepted it in time. And I also congratulate you for your dedication. May I submit to you that next time when an opportunity comes, please jump on quickly. For you snooze, you lose, as our American paraphrase says. Dorcas, I turn this over to you. I salute.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much, Professor David Sejinja. Thank you so much. We salute you. We thank you and the team, Professor Tim Shipansky, James Paul, Teacher Katie, Teacher Mimi, and the entire team. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for educating us. And thank you, guys, for those that do not know what is happening or those that are joining us for the first time. We do run a civic education session once every year besides our weekly online protest. So Professor David Sejinja and the team have kindly educated us. They've equipped us this year, 2024. And we really appreciate you. I'm not alone. Let's have a few members of the team to say a quick word before you leave. Comrades, please unmute. Let us have a word. I'm sure you want to speak to the youth back there. Comrade Madways, are you able to unmute? Let us have a word from you. Maybe we hear from Ismail, Joseph, and then we let Professor go. Yes, Comrade, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Yes,
Am I
over
audible?
to you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from where you are. First and foremost, I want to thank Professor David and the team for the great work we did for the last 10 weeks, and everyone who participated in the classes. My name is David Yahweh, and I congratulate myself for receiving the certificate. Thank you everyone who attended. I want to congratulate those who have received the sponsorship, Grace, Malo, and Mr. Henry. I congratulate you. So my message is, first, I want to recognize what I picked from the classes we had. All topics were superb. But what caught my mind most is the topic of Ubuntu ethics, whereby I even took time to go and read more about Ubuntu, and it reminded me when I was growing up, how we used to live in the village, in the community, whereby the community was like a family. Ubuntu ethics emphasizes community interconnectedness and
ndowooza owulira bulungi. Embeera eriwo buli omu kukola ky'asobodde mu busobozi bwe mu maanyi ge okulaba nga tweggyako Nakyemalira General Kaguta Museveni. Naye nga tusooka n'okuwekeninga obwongo bw'abantu, buli muntu obwongo bwe bubeere nga bulaba bulungi, obwongo bwe bubeere nga buzuukufu, obwongo bwe bubeere nga busisimuse, obwongo bwa buli Munnayuganda bubeere wammaggwe ddala nga buli ku mulamu omutuufu ogw'okugoba obumbula obututeekebwako General Kaguta Museveni mu nsi yaffe, mu ggwanga lyaffe, ffenna tubeere nga tweyagalira mu Uganda eno empya, Mukama Katonda gye yatuwa, ate nga tulina omukulembeze afaayo eri bannansi. Kale nno buli omu akola kusinziira ku mutendera gw'aliko, n'akola ekyo kyagwanidde okukola okusobola okutereeza ensi yaffe, okusobola okutereeza eggwanga lyaffe. Muliko banange mwebale kubaako ndalo gabana mutaffe kumira mpe nsaba banku atujja kuba tuddamu ebigambo okubigamba n'abakkiriza banange mwerabe.